That's because they
Okay. Let's see. I'm going to give it one more minute because we usually have more on than this. So I know some people might be just getting a little late to log in. So for any of you who don't know who I am, my name is Holly, and I get to present and speak for you all tonight. So I'm kind of excited for this. The topic tonight, is a good topic, I think. And I think it's one that most of us can relate to. And it's so what changed? That's the topic for tonight. And that's all I'm going to say for a moment until we see how many more people jump in. So, hello, Lorna. Hello, Esther. Okay. Here we go. So now, topic of the night. So what changed? First off, let me introduce myself to everyone. My name is Holly, and I'm a Mary Kay sales director. I'm relatively a new sales director in Mary Kay. Haven't hit my year yet, but getting close. July 1st was when I actually started as a director. So, but that's not the start of my Mary Kay journey. And I think that applies to a lot of people. My Mary Kay journey actually started back in 2004. 2004. And like most of us, we get involved in Mary Kay. Maybe we had that big dream from the day we start. We see that big picture. We see the income potential. We see that career path and all the commissions and everything and how it can impact our lives. Is anyone here who's seen it right away? Because some of us do, and some of us come in as a hobby consultant. We want to get our discount and we just love the products. I fall in that category as well. But I had that big picture dream right from the very, very beginning. But directorship was a challenge for me. And I can't say that I didn't want it, because I did. I started my Mary Kay business. I had just gotten married and I was pregnant with my first child. So a lot of things happened in that now 18 years. Tomorrow is my 18th anniversary with Mary Kay. And a lot has happened in this 18 years. I was working towards directorship. I wanted directorship. I was team building. I was growing. And back in, I think it was 2011, I think, I was in DIQ 3 times that year. Back to back to back. And then I just burnt out. I was like, okay, I need to take a break. So just because you have a dream and the dream doesn't happen right away, doesn't mean that that dream isn't for you. It doesn't mean that those goals are not attainable for you. And it doesn't mean that you don't have what it takes to make it happen. Timing. Timing is everything. Absolutely everything. And, you know, back in 2004, yeah, I was just married. I was having one child. But what has my Mary Kay business been able to do for me? I was able to be a stay-at-home mom for 12 years. For 12 years, I was 100% a stay-at-home mom. Without my Mary Kay business, I couldn't have done that. It brought in some really good tax breaks because my husband had a really good income. So having the tax breaks that Mary Kay brought in was amazing. Absolutely phenomenal. I was able to meet a lot of people and grow as a person over that first, X number of years in Mary Kay. And a lot has happened. I went from that one child to 3 boys. 3 boys, real busy household. Can anyone relate to having a busy household? But because of my Mary Kay business, I was able to go on field trips. I was able to go to soccer. I've been able to do all of that fun stuff with my kids. And then when my marriage ended, my Mary Kay business was still there. My life had to have a rapid shift quickly. And to be honest, when my marriage ended, I ended with it. Like I was just out. I was not very good to most people at that point in time. But my Mary Kay business was still there. I still had some customers, but that's not the story I'm telling tonight. So tonight, the story is what happened in January of last year that launched me to where I am today. Because we all had life, we all have periods maybe in our Mary Kay where we're personal use to where we're building it and where we're full-time, or, we all have a cycle. But what happened in January? We're in a pandemic, right? The pandemic is there. It's totally happening in January. Kids are out of school. Maybe they're back in school. Then they're out of school again. And everything is turned upside down. And what happened? What changed? What changed? I know how to do skincare appointments. I know how to do team building appointments. But for the couple of years leading up to January, I really wasn't doing a whole lot with my Mary Kay business. I actually was working for a friend and helping build her business. And it was in January where I had my aha moment. Some of you may have had this aha moment, or maybe this aha moment is in your head and you haven't acted. But my aha moment was, I'm putting in a lot of time and energy helping somebody else build and grow their business. Why am I not doing that for myself? Why am I not doing that for myself? If I can give somebody else all this time, I'm not getting paid, but I had those skincare appointments, where you make $80 an hour or more, right? Some of us can say, 80? That's nothing. I've done a skincare class with 3 ladies and sold over 1,000 in like hour and a half, right? So this is where my brain was going. I had held some really good appointments, and even my not so good appointments was better than minimum wage. So why was I settling in a minimum wage position or just a little bit better than? When I knew that I had a career opportunity and a business of my own that I could put time and energy into. That's where I was. Can anyone relate to that? You might work for somebody else. A lot of us do, right? And Mary Kay, you don't have to do this full time. And it doesn't take that, right? We all know somebody in Mary Kay who might have several kids and they're doing their Mary Kay business. We know people who are single who's doing their Mary Kay business. We know people who are doing it full time. We know people who's doing it part time. We know people who's doing it around a family, who's not doing it around a family. And we know people who put in a lot of hours and people who put in just a little bit. And the level of success is there, right? Each person can have success, whether they put in a lot of time or a little bit of time. So that's where my brain went. I was like, wow, I can do 20 hours a week on my own business. And why am I not? In January, I had 1 customer left. Out of the whole time I was doing Mary Kay, in January, I had 1 customer left. And they were a foundation customer. Loyal foundation customer, but a foundation customer. So what did it take for me to say, I'm going all in? Because that's what I did at the end of January last year. I took that jump and said, I'm going all in. I'm going to believe in me. I'm going to gamble on me and make this my career. So at the end of January, I had no team members anymore. Remember, I have been in DIQ. I had team. Recruiting was never the problem with me when I was in DIQ. That was never the reason I never finished. So it wasn't a problem with me sharing the opportunity. But going through that separation and divorce, I lost contact with everyone. I shut everybody out. So I had 1 foundation customer. And that was given to me from another consultant who quit. It wasn't even any of my own effort that I still had this 1 foundation customer. But I picked up the phone and I called Nadia and I said, I need to make this work. I need to do my business and I need to make this work. This needs to be my career. This is what I'm making each month right at the moment. And this is what I need to maintain. And I jumped in completely, like just dove into the deep end. I hadn't done any virtual parties at all. I hadn't really done a whole lot of presence online up until this point. And I hadn't, like, there was products, like I didn't have no demo products left. I had nothing, because the only product I was getting was for myself, to keep myself in Mary Kay. And I jumped in. In 1 week, I had 6 virtual Facebook parties. And you never know how clean your face can get or how sore that Skin Invigorate brush can make your face, until there's that day that you are doing at least 3 demos of that skincare and you're showing people that brush and you're like, "Ooh, I got to find a better way to do this." But you find another way. And then you begin saying, okay, if this is going to replace my income, what do I need to do? I don't just need to build my client base. I need to build my team. Directorship is where I need to be. So you don't have to raise your hand, but I'm sure there's people here on this call who's been playing with that idea of becoming a director for a while. It's something that's been on your heart, in your mind. You know that you have what it takes. You've got a client base. You've got a couple of team members, and you just know that this seed has been planted in your heart to become a director. Like I said, mine was planted back in 2004. I just knew that that's where I was meant to be. But then I had to actually commit to that decision. So it's what makes it happen. What's that change? It's all in here. It's all in here. We all know somebody who starts Mary Kay, who's never done it before. And within that first week or two, they're holding classes and they're selling stuff. And the next thing you know, they're the queen of sales in your unit. And you're like, they're brand new. How are they selling all this stuff? Do they know anything that you don't know? No, they're enthusiastic. That's what they have, right? They have enthusiasm. They're excited. And because they're excited and they've been told that they can make half of what they sell, they're running with it. And that's the difference. I think we get into a place where we're complacent. We're like, oh yeah, this is it. This is what we do. I make half of what I sell. But when you put that enthusiasm behind it and that determination, the determination of, I'm now a single mom trying to raise 3 boys, 2 of which are teenagers. Teenagers eat a lot. They eat a lot and they sleep a lot. And then they wake up and they're starving again. And you need to feed them. Grocery bills are not cheap when you have 3 boys. So you have to make a choice. You need to know, how much do I need to sell each week? Right? If you have to come up with $1,000 a month just to cover your cost of living, and that's a low number. But if it's $1,000 a month to cover your cost of living, how much do you have to sell each week to do that? Knowing that you make half of what you sell, you figure out that math, right? Whatever that number is. And boys, right here, right now, they're always around you. Okay.
Can I go to race?
Let's go. And then, see, now my train of thought is gone, right? So you got to make up the money for your bills. You make that goal, you put it everywhere. If it's 1,000 that you have to do for the month, that's your take home that you need to have, then you know you have to sell 2,000 that month to have that $1,000 profit. You're going to break it down to the week. How much do I have to sell each week? Well, I'm going to have to sell 500 a week. There's no other way about it. Or else maybe we're not having a takeout meal this month. maybe there's no skip the Jesus coming in, and maybe we're eating Mr. Noodle or Kraft dinner. Now, is that where you want to be, right? Because you want to know what kind of life you want to have. And long ago, I said, I'm going to be feeding my kids fresh. I just want to feed fresh meat, fresh fruit, fresh everything. I don't want to do processed. But when you're struggling, sometimes you have to go there. And I didn't want to go there. And so set sales goals. And then I had to do something that was hard, you guys. You know what? One of the hardest things I had to do, I had to pick up the phone and call people who were my customers before. And maybe team members from before. And I'm so proud to say that I have in my unit, oh my goodness, quite a few old team members who came back with me, quite a few. And I'm so proud and happy for that. And one of them, when I recruited her and shared the opportunity back with her in like 2007, I could tell she was a director. Right from the first time I met her, I'm like, oh, I need to have her on my team because she has what it takes. She's now my DIQ. She's going to be finished her directorship this month. She tracked and earned car last month. Right? When people are put in your life, they're put in your life for a reason. So if you recruited somebody back in the day who you thought was a hotshot and could be somewhere, and they took a Mary Kay hiatus, don't give up on them. Share it with them again. You don't know what has changed in their life or where they are and what they need right now. So signed, well, I didn't sign back up. I jumped back in January. Ran February, April 1st, my letter went in for DIQ. I had no team members when I signed back or started back in January, but I was on a mission. I was on a mission and I knew I had to build in a pandemic where people are afraid to even look at you when they left the house. It's not so bad now. People are actually leaving their homes again. But that whole, I was a warm chatter person. I was taught to go out in the mall and hand out samples and business cards and talk to strangers. You don't know hard until you had to get over yourself to do that. That wasn't working now. You could go try to approach somebody with your business card and they'd be like, 6 feet, what are you doing? Why are you coming near me? I can't take that from you. You might have COVID. You might be sick. So I had to learn to do things differently. I had to learn to do things differently. I had to embrace the digital age and technology and talk to my friends and family, book those parties, and run from there. So my team built itself back up. I managed to do that. And by the end of June, we had finished DIQ. So we did it in 3 months. It was done. Like, it was a shock for me. I'm like, huh, look at that. 3 times in a year before, and it didn't happen. And now it has. But it's all that mindset. And like I said earlier, that new consultant who jumps into a unit and runs, and they're bringing in all kinds of, she's new 1 week, the next week she has 3 team members, and you're like, how did that happen? She's enthusiastic. She's enthusiastic. She remembers what we felt when we signed our agreement, that this is an amazing opportunity. And that hasn't changed. That hasn't changed. I think it was $250 for the kit when I signed up. Like, it wasn't, that was a big chunk of cash for a newly married person. And I was thinking, my husband's gonna freak out. And I was like, that don't matter. He always spends money on computer stuff and never asks me. So whatever. But that was, for that price now, you can have your kit. You can be active. Pretty much for the same price as what it cost me just to get my starter kit. This is a huge opportunity for people. It's a huge opportunity for you. If you're sitting there and wondering, why haven't I moved up? Why haven't you moved up? What is the story? What is the narrative that you're telling yourself? Because that's what changed. That's what changed in January of last year. Was a story I was telling myself. We have to change the story that we tell ourselves that maybe you heard your whole life. Oh yeah, that's good, but you'll do better next time. Or that maybe not now, maybe later, or whatever we're telling ourselves. Why not now? Why do you have to wait till later? You are good enough. You do have value. You do have worth. You have what it takes. And if you didn't believe that you have what it takes, you wouldn't be on this call right now, because you're on this call right now because you know you want more. You know you want more. So why? What story do you need to change in your head? What is it that you're telling yourself? You're a good person. You're probably kind and caring, because I don't know anyone in Mary Kay who isn't. You can't really sell skincare to somebody if you don't care about them. And if you do, guess what? You don't stay in the business for long. Because if you can't actually show care for the people that you're selling to, they're going to go somewhere else. They know if you're just selling for the sake of selling. It doesn't work, right? And you have to listen to the people who have been where you want to be. That's the biggest thing. We have naysayers all around us, all the time, all the time. So establishing boundaries, tuning out the toxic. I keep telling people in my unit that you'll hear it. Well, oh, I don't have this product. How can I sell it to somebody who might need it? I've never even tried it. And I'm like, okay, let's think about this for a moment. How long has Mary Kay been around? You're like, okay, well, 1963. How long have we had our 100% satisfaction guarantee? Right from the beginning. Do we hire professionals to test and make sure we have quality ingredients in everything that we sell? We do, right? So can we confidently suggest products to our clients that we may not have tried? Absolutely, we can. 100%, because you know what? If the product wasn't good, if this wasn't good product that we sell, Mary Kay would have been bankrupt years ago with a 100% satisfaction guarantee. It wouldn't be around anymore. Everyone would have returned it. So we can be confident in the product, whether we've tried it all or not. We can have confidence in that product. We have a great guarantee. We have the highest pay in direct sales, 50% of what we sell. And I'm sure most of us have been approached by somebody in another direct selling organization because they see our level of success and they're like, oh, I need to have her. And they share, maybe they've shared the marketing plan with you. And you're like, right? You're like, what? You make 20% and you have to sell a certain amount every month? And you have to do what? Like, it doesn't add up. We have a golden opportunity, a golden opportunity. So what has changed for me is I've established boundaries. I've changed my thinking patterns to be a more positive thinker, increasing my self-confidence, self-value, and self-worth. That may have had to happen as a result of leaving that relationship that I left, because sometimes, you guys, you have to separate yourself from things that are not filling you up, whether that's a friend or a coworker, or maybe it's a relationship. But if something is toxic, it's toxic. And you need to know how to establish boundaries, right? If you have somebody who's always telling you, oh, why are you still doing this Mary Kay thing? Oh yeah, you said you were going to be a director back in 2004. Look where that's got you. You haven't done that. Right? You can listen to them and let them believe it. Oh, I'll never be a director. I've been doing this for 18 years. It's never going to happen. Or you can believe that voice that's in your head telling you, I have what it takes. This isn't hard, because Susie, who just signed up last week, just sold $1,000. And she's been working in a field her whole life. She never even wore a bit of makeup. And she just sold $1,000 worth of this stuff. It can't be hard. Right? Because those are the cases. We all know that person, right? Or the biggest tomboy you ever met. Like, and they're the ones with the top sales. It's not that this product is hard to sell. It really isn't. We do it every day to ourselves. We put it on, we wash it off. And that's all we have to tell people is how to put it on and how to wash it off. So it's not a hard business. Anyone can do it, no matter if you finished high school or if you have a doctorate degree. Maybe you haven't finished high school, you can still do it. Right? I have one unit member whose daughter, who's like, I'm going to be a Mary Kay consultant, and she's watching all the videos and she's doing everything else. We all can do this. We all can do it. So what is our hangups? What is stopping us from moving forward? What is our fears that's stopping us? Is it the fear of success? That can be scary, right? What if I had everything I ever wanted? What if I had everything I ever wanted? That can be really, really scary. Really, really scary, especially if you came from a place where you were always told you can't have something or you're not good enough. And then stuff begins coming to you and it can be a shock. It could be a shock. When I started back in January, it was month to month in my house. Absolutely month to month. Some months were better than others. Going out for a meal was not a weekly thing that we could do. Now I can go with my girlfriends every week if I want and have lunch. I just booked a trip to Paris and the French Riviera because of this Mary Kay business. Right? Like, this is what this business can do for us. I just earned my first car. I'm going to be a senior director by the end of this month. I have unit members who are tracking their diamond rings. One has already earned it. One has earned the car. I've got star consultants. I've got senior consultants. But it all comes from us. If our team sees that we don't have faith in ourselves, how are we going to build them up? How are we going to help them have faith in themselves? Right? So it all comes back to, for me, my faith. I have faith. And I believe that nothing that I have, I've done. if it's not for my faith in God, I can't do anything. And because of that, I believe this is where I'm at today. Because I don't have any special skills. I don't have any special training that's not available to anybody else. Right? We all have the exact same thing. We all start a business now with the same kit, right? We all started with the same kit, no matter when we joined. Everyone else who joined with us had the same kit. We all start with that same opportunity to make half of everything we sell. We all have the same opportunity to share the career opportunity with others. There's nothing different from one person to another. The only difference is the story we're telling ourselves in our head. That we can or we can't. That's it. That's it. For my first, 16 years in Mary Kay, I wanted it. It was on my goal posters. I believed that I could do it, or I told myself I could do it, but did I truly believe it? I had all the excuses. I had little kids. How many people do we know with little kids? My DIQ has 4 kids, 3, 4, and under. She's in DIQ. She'll be done this month. She earned a card. She's earned her diamond. She's been in the top 10 in the consultant's court many times so far this year. She's going to be on the stage, just you wait. But so can women with little kids not be successful in Mary Kay? They absolutely can. It's all about, like I said, it's all what we tell ourselves. What you think is true. If you think you can, you can. And if you think you can't, you're right. I'm not telling anybody here anything new. Like everything I'm saying, we've all heard it before, but maybe I'm telling it to you in a different way, or maybe in a way that's a little bit more relatable. But we all have gone through stuff in our lives that can knock us down. We've all been in a place, I call it like the pile of goo, that there's nothing left to you. You're just there. You're just a pile of goo and you can't move. You can't do nothing. I was there. 2016, I was that ball of goo. I was able to get my kids fed into school, and that's all I could do. Right? We all go through different things in our lives. But who's our white knight? Are we looking for someone to come in and save us? Or are we going to pull ourselves up from that ball of goo and save ourselves? And that's what I had to learn with my business, is that if I wanted this to happen, if I wanted to become a director, if I wanted to earn the car, if I wanted, like, director isn't my goal. I'm going to tell you, my goal is higher than director. And some of you may have had that big, big, big picture goal thinking right from the beginning as well. But without taking that first step, nothing is going to happen. And no one is going to come into your life and knock on your door and say, you signed up with Mary Kay. Can I have your book? Can I buy all this product? Can I be a part of your team? That's not usually how it works, right? We have to share it. We have to open our mouth. And it's not a bad thing to do. It's not a bad thing to do. McDonald's is going to ask you if you want large fries with your meal. If you went to McDonald's and they showed you all the food, but then they didn't ask you what you wanted, you'd just be standing there like, well, I'm hungry. Why haven't they asked me what I wanted? The same thing happens with our skincare classes and parties. We can have our VIP group and post pictures all day long. But if they don't know how much it is and you don't ask, hey, have you tried our skincare? Is there anything you would like to change? How can I help you be the best you can be? We're the same as that person standing behind a McDonald's counter and wondering why nobody has come to ask what we wanted. They're there, they're waiting. We have people in our VIP group. Why are they there? Obviously, they want something. So don't be afraid to ask. Change your mindset. It's not an easy thing to do, but we all can do it. When we get into that place of self-doubt, we all get there. It might be for an hour, might be for a day, a week. But when we get into that place, that's when we call upwards, you guys. Don't call your sister consultant, because maybe they're already going through their own little self-doubt pity party as well. And then the two of you, it takes two to have a party. Well, boy, what kind of a party are you going to have? It's not going to be a good one. And you're not going to get to where you need to go. So call up, because guess what? There's not a director who hasn't been through it or heard it or felt it. We all have been there. We've had our downs. We've all showed up at somebody's house who we just called and said, I'm coming for that makeover. And you get there and there's no one there. Like we've experienced it all. So don't be afraid to talk to your director. Don't be afraid to talk upwards. Every director is here to help and support you to reaching your goal. If that dream is in your heart and you need something, maybe it's just to pay the internet bill because your 2-year promo price just ended and you're like, oh, that's huge now. How am I going to come up with that? Guess what? Go sell something. That's how we're going to pay for it. But if you need a plan, talk upwards, talk to your director. If you don't know what the whole career path has to offer, talk to your director. And if you don't have a team member yet, why not? What do you have to lose by sharing it? You have nothing to lose at all by asking somebody if they would like to make some extra money. Because that's all you have to say. Hey, would you like to make some extra money? For $28. I can teach you, show you. Myself and my director can coach and mentor you. That's all we have to do. We get in our own heads and we overthink things constantly. We have to turn off that voice, change the channel, throw it out. Linda McDonald would always say, delete, delete, delete. Just delete those negative thoughts when they enter your head. So that's what we have to do, and just have that mind shift. We are 2 months away from the end of the seminar year. Lots can happen in the next 2 months. Mary Kay always said that that last quarter of the seminar year was the quarter that magic happens. It's not too late for you to reach those goals and dreams that you have. Not even a little bit too late. It's not too late to be able to submit for DIQ for May 1st. Even if right now, today, you have no one on your team. It's not too late. Because I guarantee you, you probably have a customer, 2 or 3, 8, who would love the discount. And maybe they need that extra bit of money to get their kids out of the house, because after 2 years of the pandemic, they need them gone. Even if it's just for an hour at a pool, swimming for, a couple of hours a week. So we have an opportunity that can change people's lives. And, from January of last year to June, debuting in July, and just building and growing and mentoring and coaching others. That's what it's all about, is passing it on to others and helping others build and grow. And it's contagious, you guys. When you have a team member and unit members who are loving it and working it and growing it, you just want to do it more yourself. So that's my words to you. Share, 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 share. And with that, I'm going to say, if anyone has any questions, because I know I've been talking a lot, go ahead, ask questions, and I'm going to pause the recording or stop it. Stop it. There we go.